Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the Reverb G2 version 2. Now, the difference here is that this G2 supposedly offers 30% better tracking, better compatibility with AMD sort of hardware, but also you're going to get closer to those lenses because the spacer in this, you can take it out and actually you can get really close up to those lenses, which means a better sweet spot, better field of view. So there's a lot to like about this. Also, the controller sort of breakout box has a power switch. So there's been a little few refinements here and there that HP have listened to make this a really brilliant all-round VR headset. I just said literally a video back from this, funny enough, that I feel the Reverb G2 is the best VR headset out there, sort of under £1,000, particularly for the likes of Microsoft Flight Simulator. But with that better tracking, this could also be, the VR headset to have, even for those VR gamers out there. And in this video, we're going to be finding out all of those improvements and whether they are worth it or whether, maybe they don't even make any difference. Let's find out, folks. So first of all, let's have a look at the unboxing process because that's always fun, isn't it, when you get a new VR headset. Starting off, of course, with opening that beautiful black box that it comes in. The resolution is still the same, 2160 by 2160 per eye. It's an LCD panel, but actually it's one of the best LCD panels out there in terms of colours and brightness, without a doubt. It runs at 90 Hz refresh rate with a field of view. Well, it says 114 degrees, but it's probably more around 100 degrees, to be fair. It's inside-out tracking as well, so no base stations required, of course. It's got 4 cameras, and the lenses are actually developed by Valve, funny enough, although I do feel they've done a better job than they did with their own index in this case. It's got a manual IPD adjustment of 60mm up to 68mm. So here we go, let's have a look. I do love how HP always provide a really nice soft cloth with each of their sort of headsets. In fact, of all the headsets I've unboxed over the years, and I've got a lot of headsets now, the HP Reverb comes packed better than any of them. But anyway, as you can see there, the breakout box has definitely been changed. That's the first thing I noticed, and I really like how it's got this power button on the side. Please, for the love of God, all manufacturers of VR headsets, please have a power button on your sort of breakout box. It really does, it's just such a useful thing to have. And of course, it looks larger and it's bigger, and that's because it's definitely got more juice in it for power, to AMD-based chipsets, which is really cool. So what else is new about the Reverb G2 version 2? Well, aesthetically, the only difference you'll be able to tell between them both is this spacer you can see here. I'm just taking it off, and by the way, it's all magnetic. Now, I don't know about you folks, but I really don't like the Velcro style attachments of various headsets. In fact, I think all of them are Velcro apart from the Reverb G2, and I do feel it gives it more of an air of quality, and the fact they've been able to do this at such a cheap price point, it says a lot, really. But as you can see there, once we fit it back on, just a word of warning, your sort of facial interface, the magnets don't quite hold it in as strong as with the spacer in, and it can quite easily detach. That's one little niggle I've got with it, to be honest, but I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. Only time will tell. Also, before we move on, just to say that, as you can see there, that's my old Reverb G2, and I have a balancer kit on it from Studio Form. I highly recommend that everyone with a Reverb G2 invest in one of these because it really makes it all day comfortable, and any extra sort of frontal weight completely vanishes. I also have a very nice discount code. All the links will be in the description below. So with that all being said, let's now check out the tracking, the field of view, if that panel looks any better, by jumping into the Windows Mixed Reality portal, and then I think we'll jump into Half-Life Alyx and Microsoft Flight Simulator before rounding it out with my thoughts. I'll see you there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test the tracking out of the Reverb G2 version 2. Simply in the home environment, I'm going to do a series of tests. The first one being, I'm going to reach right up to the sky there. Now this would really break the tracking with the old Reverb G2, particularly if I look down and then look back up. Look at that, they're still there. That is amazing. I'll do that one more time. Right, really stretching out. Look down. Look back up again. Yep, that's absolutely fine. And also, I've noticed that the tracking volume is definitely, the kind of cone of the tracking volume is way wider than it was before, because say when you're looking at the overhead panel and you kind of get to about there, that's fine. But if I go further, there's no way the old Reverb was able to track that far. It would just freak out big time. So that shows that that's a huge improvement. But we're going to do a few more tests. Also, I'm going to put my arms far apart like this and waggle them a little bit. And then I'm going to look ahead, and then right, ahead, and then back to the left. That's impressive. That is really good tracking, actually. It's definitely better than I expected, that's for sure. The final test, we're going to put the controllers to my waist. This is very difficult for any inside-out tracking. Even the Quest 2 struggles with it sometimes. And I'm going to look down. They're still there. Look ahead. In fact, I can do that by, you see, I'm sort of teleporting over there. That will show if the controller moves. So I'm going to do that. Okay, I can't do it on this side, but you'll get an idea. Right to my hip. Look up. The controller is still being tracked, even though it's literally 90 degrees down now, and then back again. Now at this point I can definitely say that the tracking is as good as the Quest 2, which is just incredible, really. It's very, very cool indeed. And also, let's just have a look at controller occlusion. Now what that means is, if one's in front of the other, it can freak out. Like the Vive Cosmos was really bad for this. And I'm just having a look here, checking for any chromatic aberration. I'm having a look at that sky because that's the perfect backdrop to see if I can spot any Mura. Now, the Reverb G1 really suffered badly with Mura, and what that is it's sort of panel inconsistencies in the colour, and also sometimes you can see the rings as well. I think that's actually better, which is quite remarkable. I did notice that the LCD in my Reverb G2 just has slight faint lines. Now, if I look around, it's still there, definitely. There's still a few lines. But you know what? Actually, I'm being really picky here. I think overall, looking at that sky, it looks absolutely beautiful, and you'd only notice it if you're someone like me who really sort of scrutinizes all the VR headsets out there. But that is absolutely fantastic. It looks really nice. Okay, so let's kick things off with a bit of Half-Life Alyx. I'll just show you a few minutes of it, but I have to say I've been trying it all night tonight, and just the controller tracking, I guess the word is fluid. It feels refined. That 30% extra sort of tracking volume definitely makes a difference. You know, and it's great to be back in Half-Life Alyx again with that 2160 LCD panel. I do wonder, do we really need more resolution right now? Particularly with hardware really struggling. This looks absolutely fantastic with that extra field of view as well. Oh god, what's that? Here we go. It's kicking off. What is that there? Oh, shot and a half. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, it just looks amazing. It really takes my breath away. I forget how good the Reverb G2 is as a, you know, just a pure gaming VR headset with that G2 audio, the atmosphere and everything. It just feels so good. Right, we need that card, so I'll just grab that. Look at that, it's so much easier. I used to struggle doing this with the old G2 controllers, but this just feels really, really natural. I'll just grab that box. Look at that. It's just so easy to just mess around. It's so cool. I love it. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, Dad said he stole some files.
There we go.
Well, when it comes to combine
It's quite hard, folks, because I've got no room.
Oh.
Systems, robotics, networks, I can make short
So I
work
can
of those.
read all of that, no problems at all.
Might as well be an alien
So
language.
sharp in this thing.
Well, it is an alien language.
That is incredible.
Anyway, look, Eli's your guy.
In fact, as I'm looking around, I'm kind of moving from left and right for the sweet spot. It does feel better. I'm sure it does, folks. You know, people have discounted this headset based upon the fact that, you know, it's quite limited with its tracking volume. But I have to say, this is as good as the Quest 2. Probably even, I mean, not quite as good as the Index, but I mean, you're not really missing out on anything here. Right, let's see what's around this corner. And you know what? I've actually just thought of something else that I would like to have seen from the Reverb G2 refresh version. And that's the head strap from the Omniset edition. That has a knob at the back that you can really dial in your sort of head shape. I'll put on the screen now what I mean. That's not to say it's not uncomfortable anyway, but I think that would have been a nice touch. Anyway, let's see what's around here. Sorry about the snap views, guys, but literally, another thing I thought I'd try is my lighting in this small little space I've got at the moment. I'm kind of doing this in my little man cave. It's actually quite dark in here as well. There's just a little bit of natural lighting, and still, the tracking and sort of head tracking is still very good. So, again, very impressive, and look at this in here. I'm a little bit too high, though, to be fair, but,
Alyx,
oh,
look out the
wow.
window.
That does look impressive.
That's gotta be the vault.
Amazing.
Yeah. Your dad didn't mention it was
The
floating.
colours in this
So
thing.
even if we make it there, we still have to get up to it.
Oh, the cables! Look at all the cables attached to it.
Amazing.
All we have to do is follow
Absolutely
them.
incredible
And break whatever's
detail.
at the other end.
And down comes the vault. Simple. Easy to follow. Yeah, I like this plan.
Anyway, folks, that's just a very quick snippet of Half-Life Alyx. It just works, folks. The tracking is superb. Let's try Microsoft Flight Simulator so we can really test out that field of view and perhaps even that better sweet spot with this facial interface. I'll see you in the sim in a moment. Okay, folks, so welcome back once again to finish off this review of the version 2 Reverb G2. We're back where we belong, in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And this is where I'm going to really test out the field of view, which absolutely, I can definitely confirm now, is as good as any other add-on facial interface I've ever tried from VR Cover. Which is going to save you a whole heap of cash if you're thinking about buying one anyway. I do actually think it's wider by about 5% than any other sort of, aftermarket modification that I've tried before. In terms of the sweet spot, you know what? It is. I just think it's a bit better, and I think the only reason why is because I am so much closer to the lenses than I ever have been before. It's not a massive difference, guys. Don't get me wrong, but because I've had hundreds and hundreds of hours in my original Reverb G1, which is now about 1.5 years old now, I know the differences here, and there is a subtle difference. Is it worth it, as an upgrade for previous Reverb owners? Of course not. It really isn't. I think if you're happy with your Reverb G2 now, absolutely keep it. But for anybody out there that is on the fence and thinking about buying a Reverb G2, now is the most perfect time to get one. This is just amazing, particularly if you think about the optimizations that Microsoft Flight Simulator are providing now with the OpenXR toolkit. I'm flying right now and I'm getting super smooth motion reprojection. I'm over, I think what it is called, I'm not quite sure where I'm actually, to be honest. Somewhere in Australia. But this is just incredible. I can read those gauges absolutely fine. And this is a tiny little sort of like G1000 panel here, and I can read everything. Of course, I've got to move my head a bit because the sweet spot isn't edge to edge, but you know what? It's a bit better than before. And I think all these refinements put together make the Reverb G2 the best VR headset out there under £1,000. I hope that's been of some help to you today, guys, and thank you so much for all your support on the channel. Just look at this. This is absolutely stunning right now. I've actually fallen in love with the Reverb G2 again. It's made me appreciate this headset more and more. And yeah, I'm absolutely blown away with it. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now. Just look at that. Just fantastic. I'm going to be very intrigued to see if a company can beat this headset for £600 this year. I've got a feeling it's going to be a tall order. Take care, folks. See you soon.